Hey guys, what is going on? So we have Monday market breakdown, and yeah, still looking like we've got a bit of development going on, a bit of a slow day. There was one potential trade in there, but wasn't able to take it. So we're looking at the DXY, where essentially we are sitting below this very good valuable area. At the moment, I wouldn't be looking to really take anything stuck in right here just yet. If we do get a really decent flag in the sights of this, and there's really nice equal spacing, it's definitely one to consider to take, but understand the risk that we can just push up, and that could just be an easy trap to kind of not sell off, but to pull back up. So price is stalling here in form of continuation to the downside, and that is very clear in terms of a message, massive impulse, larger correction sort of in that area for the correction. So I think, maybe give it another 2 days, a day and a half, and we might see a continuation there. Maybe one more push before we even pull back up. But ideally, I am looking for a pullback up and a sort of continuation to the upside. So we'll be waiting for that. Ideally, if I was going to be taking an entry on that. JP225 still stalling in this area. We could get a little bit of a continuation flag in this area if we are going to continue. But overall, this is looking a bit corrective. Head and shoulders is there with the retest. So it's quite an interesting trade, to be honest. I mean, possible retest is what we were looking at, and we did get it. And then we kind of just pushed down, and we're having a bit of a correction there. So it's possible that this could be, a sort of correction to the downside. Not one that I'm going to be looking to take a trade on, of course, as well. We also have Euro USD, which is exactly the same as a DXY. So if we look at it this way, large correction, continuation to the downside. But the nice thing is we've actually come into this with structure. So now I'm just waiting for that confirmation of the impulse up, correction, and continuation to the upside. So in the sense we are looking for the sell. So obviously looking at it this way, we are looking at it that point over there where the liquidity was pulled from, we pushed up, we just correct up here, push back in, and then we can look for plenty of opportunity to the downside. So it's one I would say be extremely patient for. It's definitely worth having on watch daily until we actually see some confirmation. If we do start to continue to the upside, it is what it is. We take a message from the market and we move forward from there. The next one I am looking at over here is GBP Aussie. Now with GBP Aussie, it's quite interesting because we have this potential for a head and shoulders. So what I am seeing over here is that we have this very good valuable area. We've come into it structurally. We're now pushing left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder, sell off. Do we sell off early without completing to it? It's not really what I'm looking for. I am looking to see though if we do get some sort of correct structured approach now, where we do something like that. Maybe we come in and then we have something like this, and then we sell off, and we don't get the push flag scenario, which I fully understand, but something like that could definitely still be on the table for a good trade. But also keeping it very simple, perhaps maybe we get one more push up, and then we just push back down from there. That's more than enough. We'll have to wait and see. If we do start to correct and come all the way back up here with a structured approach, then we'll have to be a little bit more patient and evaluate that very carefully. The next one I'll be looking at over here is GBP CAD. And GBP CAD hasn't really hit that valuable area, but there's more than enough here structurally. So what we can see over here is that we did have the structured 1, 2, 3 into this area, and we did have a little bit of inflection area over here where I was looking to see if price would reject from that point. Right now we can see that price did reject a little bit early, completing the 1, 2, 3 with kind of stalling in this area and then push down. I was looking for more sort of the ending structured approach. We didn't quite get that at this point, which is completely fine. I think at this point here now we just need to be a little bit more patient. How have we broken this trend? Well, we have broken this trend a little bit impulsive, so that's completely fine, but we have to also understand that we can still gravitate to this high, and I think for that reason I wouldn't just be jumping into any small correction over here. I know it seems very tempting as well because we are kind of moving in this direction, but the message will become more and more clear as we sell off, but we have to understand that this is a very obvious near miss and it can easily be filled. Looking at it on the daily as well, we do have a nice little retrace at the top of this structured approach. It could easily be a trap as well, so we do need to wait and evaluate it carefully. With the weekly just starting, I don't know, I would give it some time to develop, see what happens. And by the end of this week, if we are, really down here, then we can easily take a message from the market and understand that, okay, this could really sell off. But more so, I am looking to see if we do get some larger sort of correction down here, and then we continue to the downside, then it is what it is, and we fully understand that, okay, we had an impulsive break, we had continuation, forming correction over here with continuation, and then we're looking for the next correction to the downside. The next one I am looking at over here is New Zealand CAD. Now, even though New Zealand CAD is in this descending sort of corrective channel over here, I will be looking to see if essentially we correct and make our way back up. So essentially over here, I'm looking for a larger flag territory. It could get a little bit messy, could create something a little bit larger. It is what it is, but I will be looking for structure. I think structure is very, very key in this area. I think that's something that, for myself, I think is extremely important right now, looking at the sequence of things where we've impulse, corrected, broke out of this small corrective price, pushed out. Perhaps it comes down, retest, creates something a little bit more complex, and then we go. If so, we still have the run up to this high, and then we just understand that this small inflection area is in a way where we could create something a little bit more complex. But more so, this could be a very, very nice trade if we do get price movement which relates to this this leg over here, where we pretty much can see it in a similar nature over there. We kind of complete this and move into maybe this sort of price area, even gravitate higher. We'll have to wait and see, but it is looking pretty good for New Zealand CAD. I think it's just definitely one we need to stay a little bit sharp for. And then we have Euro GBP. Honestly, Euro GBP is looking stunning. We have this mini expanding within this massive little bit of corrective price. I wouldn't get married to this, to be honest, because I think there is the potential for this to just get a bit messy, get a bit tricky, and maybe just push a little bit further. But having this drawn on here, if it did sell off, we would understand, okay, we are moving from a significant price area. There was some liquidity built over here, and it made a lot of sense of why price was moving lower. And I think for that reason there, it's more than enough reasoning for us to be like, okay, fine, we are looking for sells in this area. If we start selling off, we can take a message from the market because we've moved away from a structured approach, etc., etc. Completing this 90% rule to then see if we do complete this pattern and then sell off even further. But more than likely, because we have the higher time frame in line here, if we do correct and start filling into this space, this could be a very good valuable area to look for a short position as well. So all in all, I am definitely looking for shorts on this one. If we do start pushing above, then I'll have to start evaluating the market a little bit more, because then we're trading up here and we're basically in the middle of this range again, and we could just easily start gravitating to the high again. So we have to definitely look at it holistically, but we are seeing that equal spacing. It makes sense. USD CAD, it kind of looks a little bit similar to Euro GBP in the sense of this price pattern over here on the higher time frame. If we do start gravitating, we come up here, we come in with 1, 2, 3 equal spacing. It makes sense, but it would need some time to develop. I'm seeing this quite interesting price action right now, but it's really just pulling back, and it's not my typical sort of nature of interest, where I would look for something a little bit more smaller and tight. But at this point, because we have that massive pullback over here, it's not something that I am looking to get involved in at this point in time. I'm more than happy to just wait, let it develop, and then if something shapes up, take a message from the market. But I'm not looking for something so messy like that, especially this sort of price nature. I'll stay out personally. USD Yen, still waiting for a bit of a larger flag. It's a continuation to the downside. So we did have this little inflection area over here where it makes sense because we are in the amber zone off this overall little bit of price here. And if we do create something larger than there, I would understand for the short play where we're going. So looking for a completion of this ascending channel over here, where we've kind of come back from this liquidity era, we pull back down aggressively. Let's build up some liquidity momentum from the liquidity we're sitting to the left, and maybe we can get enough momentum to start pushing down to the next price point, which will be below this pattern, and then maybe create one more decent flag over here. Within that, we will have many different opportunities, but one more larger flag over there to have the momentum to build to complete this pattern. 90% rule. Euro New Zealand. Now, this is one that I'm really, really liking, and I think it could shape up as easily as tomorrow. The Asian session might set us up for a good trade there. I think I'm waiting for this to come up here for the M-star structured approach, and we might get a really good, decent play here. So it's one that I'm definitely going to be waiting for, because honestly, like 1, 2, 3, it's easy, it's understandable, very, very clean. It looks like it could be an insurance entry at this point because I've not seen that structured touch, but I will be waiting for that. Decent M-star pattern though. If we get that pushed down on the flag, I'm all in. Obviously, that's a really good trade. And then we also have this section over here. This is quite a decent trade as well, catching. In the grand scheme of things, we are easily moving to the downside, right? But we're getting our first larger flag, which makes sense because we've moved down pretty aggressively with many opportunities, but now we're accumulating larger price. The 1, 2, 3 over here isn't obviously your most easy to read through, and we're not really getting that structured RO3 on the 1 hour, but we can clearly see on the higher time frame we do have some sort of structure in here. It would be nice if this led into something because price is fairly corrective, but I wouldn't be surprised if we tapped into that and then just had a decent push and got insurance entry on that. That would be perfect. So insurance entry all day on CAD for me at the moment. I don't think there's any sort of decent price that I can really tag in for a risk entry. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Well, Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is looking pretty good too. Look at Aussie CAD from the larger time frame. We can see that we've moved down correctively. We now create this larger, very impulsive sort of flag here. But I'm evaluating this very carefully to understand the rule of three on this one to see how we approach it. If we can approach it, well, momentum starts slowing down and we start getting really good sort of price action in this area, then I can maybe look for an entry around about this high. But if we do get up here and we push down and create a flag, all in again, once again, it looks like a pretty good trade if we start getting the rejection from that high. We did reject from it multiple times, from here, from here, from here, and here. So now that we're coming back into there one more time, let's see if price can hold again, and then we see if we can get into the sell. So Aussie CAD is definitely one that I think is going to be a nice trade. We just have to wait and look at it very carefully. It looks like it could be impulsive price action as well. If we get a leg similar to this one, that could be very nice, Even to the bottom of this pattern, we could see some decent price. And then over there, we could just get corrective. So keep that one on close watch because it could shape up. This one was also a very nice trade. So essentially, I was looking at this trade just here and I missed it because I was just doing other things. I wasn't sharp enough on my morning routine. So that's something I'm going to personally work on, make sure that I'm more sharper in the future. But roughly around about 6:15, which I should have really been sharper this time. 6:15 today, we shaped up and we created this little flag over here, which is completely forecasted on the Sunday. And essentially, I would have been tagged into that on a reduced risk. I would have probably squeezed in a little bit more. Personally, recently I've been told that 7 would have been okay, but I think I would have just gone for 10 just because I'm comfortable with it. And it would have been roughly around about a 2.11% position. So it is what it is. It did run for roughly around about 4-ish, but yeah, that's 2.25, 2.2, probably where I'm at. The next one is Aussie US dollar. Still, I think this one is it's a soft watch. Let it do its thing. If we get the trade, we get the trade, but it's not looking too promising at the moment. I was looking for a corrective price to come back up, great structured approach into completion of this larger pattern here for us to get the sell. Hey, we kind of hit the override and sold off. I'm not surprised. We could just create continuation and carry on selling, and we may not even come up here for some time. So let's wait and see. But there's a small little bit of liquidity area here. Maybe we're gravitating to that before we have one more push up. I'll have to evaluate closely. And then we have a US 100. US 100, I was looking to see if this becomes some sort of larger pattern, whatnot. Didn't quite get it. It looks like it's just continuing. It's going to do its thing. I mean, with these pairs, sometimes they just go, And I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw this going up and up and up, taps into the high, creates all-time new highs, catches people out on the wrong side, and then sells off. So all in all, I mean, we do have some pretty good pairs on watch. I'll be honest with you, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the most interesting at the moment. I have seen better pairs on watch, but I think in terms of the quality of the positions, they're definitely still there. Some of them are a little bit more high risk, which I've noticed. So it would make sense personally for me not to take a lot of trades this week because I've filtered out a lot of trades I used to take in my old previous videos, which you might have seen, that I'm no longer taking anymore, only because they hold a little bit of higher risk. I'm trying to tighten up on my psychology and tighten up on my risk criteria. And I think mainly because of that, I'm trying to avoid taking crappy trades because I have been taking a lot of lower quality, higher risk trades where, in fact, I should have been doing the complete opposite, taking less high risk trades with more quality. So going back and reviewing that and understanding myself on that level, I kind of really understood that maybe I was just rushing it a little bit too much, even though I didn't need to. Subconsciously, I kind of just went in a very patient but impatient mindset, and that kind of hit me. I was being patient, but I wasn't being the right type of patient. I was becoming impatient whilst being patient, forcing me to make some terrible mistakes. So it's good that I've reflected on that, I've learned from it, and now I'm moving forward. And I think for that reason, I think in terms of self-growth and kind of where I'm going in that light, it makes more sense now that I am taking a step back to just now reevaluate what I'm doing, ASR, and doing an advanced self-review on my trades and kind of just making sure that I'm not making those same mistakes, but I'm also taking a better quality of positions. So it does mean that I will stay out of a few trades, but then at least I can learn from them, take a step back and be like, okay, fine. Well, even though that played out, I can take the next one. It's an abundance of opportunity. But even if I take a loss, which will definitely happen from time to time, it is what it is, And yeah, honestly, phenomenal. I mean, I think this is going to be an exciting month. Maybe less percentage. You know, I did land last month on 22%, but not for the right reasons. You know, a lot of the trades pulled me back a little bit, and I think I could easily smash that. You know, even if I didn't, it doesn't matter. But I could easily smash that and do a lot better. I think I just need to be more sharp, stay in the flow, and just carry on doing what I'm doing, man. So, wishing you guys a good week, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. This week is going to be sick.